Well, I don't know the term of it because I've never heard of it before. So it was the term of feminine and...
The feminine and masculine?
Yeah, but what's the other word?
The wounded masculine or the wounded feminine?
Yeah, you used another word, but yeah.
The supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Yes.
I'll just keep throwing words out until I hit it. So let's just take the now moment. What moves you, and in your own way, in your own words, what are you feeling curious about or desiring to know more about?
It resonated to different aspects of my life that could benefit from it, from that perspective and that explanation. And it's about relationships and the role that each relationship plays.
Yes.
And just your answer was like, whoa. I love that, and it would make such a difference in my life.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit about it, and again, we definitely will dial in more and more. There's a difference between me going deep into a particular domain-specific set of knowledge and me answering the questions that help you understand the process. But the general thing is that there's really only two fundamental polarities, the masculine and the feminine, or order and chaos, or freedom and commitment, or structure and formlessness that forms everything. And they're both within us, and they're within relationship, and the whole universe is a design of that. We are coming out of a structure, societal structure, where the masculine has been predominant, and it's been the wounded masculine. It's the masculine believes that it's the power, and then if it allows life to take over and it doesn't control life, life being the feminine, pure life force, it will be annihilated. And so there's been a journey of repressing the feminine life force, this pure, raw, creative life force from the masculine's fear of being annihilated by it. And we're in the age of the rise of feminine power now, where we're beginning to understand that life, we serve life. Life doesn't serve form. Form serves life. Life doesn't serve form. The masculine serves the feminine. The feminine doesn't serve the masculine. Now, they both serve each other, but there's a hierarchy. And that's because life is infinite and inexhaustible. And the masculine's role, and I'm not talking men and women per se, so be aware of that. You're learning how to think and read symbolically life, your life. The masculine is right about being afraid of annihilation because the masculine or the form has to constantly be annihilated as life or more of the feminine unfolds and opens and expresses, and the masculine's role is then to create a structure around that, to give form to that, to harness that, not to repress or control it, but to create the container and the structure for more life versus create a container and a structure that controls life and represses life so it doesn't hurt me or render me powerless. Is this making sense? So that's fundamentally what's always going on, and that's happening with all structures. The structures of thinking, emotional structures, mental structures, physical structures, financial structures, relational structures. It's flipped so that we are focused on creating forms and holding on to and maintaining forms at the expense of life. And that creates unsustainable forms, destructive forms, stagnation. Remember I talked about the 2 stages of your life code? The first stage is from a wound, we strive to feel safe or in control or to have enough, be enough, and then eventually we realize that's the false goal. We've got some structure, but we've lost connection to life or love or power. We flip it and we realize that we've already got it. And so the same thing is true. We've built the capacity to create forms, thought forms, emotional patterns of form, physical forms, commerce forms, relationship. We've got plenty of forms, and we've reached a place of decadence or decadence or crystallization and calcification in the world, commoditization, industrialization, which is what I talked about in the beginning. And now we are needing to flip the script and serve the truth or life or that which is emerging. First and foremost, that means serving the feminine. That means serving that which gives birth to more. And we can look at that in our relationships. You can see that happening in your own journey with this work. And when that happens, again, life will continue to be birthed. If you try to save your life, you'll lose it. If you're willing to lose your life for my sake, or that highest pattern or life, you'll have life everlasting, world without end, glory to greater glory. Jesus came along, and this is not religious for all of you that may be, whatever religion or non-religion you are. When I speak about Jesus or Buddha or any of these people, I'm speaking about principle. It's just FYI disclaimer. He came along at a time where all the structures have been crystallized. Women were in their place. A tribe was, the top thing. Commerce, church, religion, all that. And he said, do not think I've come to bring peace. I've come with a sword to separate mother from daughter, father from son. He came to shatter all those structures we had gotten lost in. We had become entombed in, to set us free and to say that it's the thing you're seeking outside of you isn't heaven, isn't the source of your good. I have meat you know not of and water that you drink that will spring up into a well eternal. He was just basically saying, there's a whole world of infinite possibility here. Seek that first, and all those forms you've been striving for and struggling for, they will be the byproduct. He was giving what I believe is one of the first real solid feminine spiritual teachings, because he was telling people to serve, and that's why, there's Mary, and he's saying, let women follow me. Who says they can't be rabbis? And we're not here to save ourselves or save each other or save the world. We're here to serve what's emerging. So that's just a brief gestalt of kind of what the masculine and feminine is. There's a lot more I could say specifically in relationships. For example, again, freedom versus commitment is also the polarity. Sovereignty versus unity, or sovereign unity. And we're learning to find our sovereignty in our individual container, and then we're learning to hold our sovereignty while being in unity, and then eventually how to hold our sovereignty in community. And as we're able to do that, we keep expanding our power rather than give it away or shut it down in order to be part of a partnership or part of a community or part of an organization. We go from more and more power to more and more power, and you can't ever really know your power or your freedom except in relationship, because that's what shows you all the places where you're hiding, where you're blocked, where you have shadows that you're not looking at. And then once you get into relationships, you start shadow dancing. Once you get into community, you start recapitulating your family dynamics, and suddenly you are projecting all of your mothers and father issues and teacher issues and stuff like that onto each other. So that's the opportunity to actually get freer, not to give your power away. Dina, can we give Dina a round of applause? Thank you, Dina, for sharing.